guys, over the next 2 days, we are going to be doing a robot project to help us review what we've been doing with our measuring, okay? All right, so we're going to go through this PowerPoint to help us out. Okay, so the first question is, which measurement tool do you think we should use to measure our robots and why? Would we use a measuring cup, a ruler, measuring tape, or that bendy thing, or would we use our iPads?
All right, so if you have a ruler at home, ruler would be the best tool to use because we have inches on one side, we have centimeters on the other side, and we can use it to do all of our measurement. But if we don't have rulers, we can either think back and remember some of those tricks we gave you, like using a small paper clip, a quarter, or that little part of your finger for an inch, or like Mr. Kaywood said, little tip of his pinky, or an eraser on a pencil for a centimeter. Now, if you don't have those or you're confused by that, I'm going to give you one more trick, okay? I know we all have our iPads at home. If you have your iPad, we know that's about 10 inches long, so you can use that to measure 10 inches to help you out a little bit. Or it's about 25 centimeters long, okay? So we have iPad on here, so you know 10 inches or 25 centimeters. You can use that to help with your estimating and measuring as well.
Okay, so like Mr. Fleming just said, we are going to be using two different types of measurement. We're going to be using inches and centimeters. And make sure that when you are measuring, you always measure to the nearest inch. So if it's 6.5, we want to go ahead and round up and make it 7, okay? All right, so these are our instructions. First, you need to choose your parts for the robot. Then you're going to estimate the length of your parts. You're going to do it in inches and centimeters, so you have to use both sides of the ruler, okay? Then you're actually going to measure it so that we can see how long our robots actually are, and then you're going to add the details to make it real cool, and you could actually share it with us so that we can see what you did. Okay, so Mr. Fleming and I, we went ahead and we found some parts for our robots, okay? So the very first part that you need for your robot is obviously you need a head, because if you didn't have a head, what the heck kind of robot would that be? So our head is this Folgers coffee cup can, okay? Didn't it look like a head? Yeah, okay. Then we have our arms. We have 2 pencils. Just gonna stick it in there. Oh, where's our body? Then we have our feet, okay? We got these two cool dice, all right? We have our 2 legs. Oh, just kidding. Got the body right here. All right, it's just an old tissue box, all right? So first thing that we need to do is you would need to pull up your worksheet, friends, okay? And then we need to estimate how far around do we think our head is. Mr. Fleming, what would you estimate this in inches and centimeters?
So remember, when we're estimating, we're just trying to make the best guess we can make based off of the information that we know. So if we're trying to estimate how far around our head is, we want to use things that we know to try to make our best guess. Remember, inches are bigger than centimeters, so our guess for inches should be a smaller number than our number for centimeters. So if I was going to guess around this, it's probably not a very good guess. I'm going to guess 14 inches, and it's okay if I'm wrong, because remember, it's an estimate, and we're just trying to do our best to guess it, okay? So if I'm going to write 14 inches in my estimate, and then what do you think would be a good centimeter estimate?
So you told me that inches had to be smaller than the centimeters, right?
Yes.
So I'm thinking maybe about 30-something, like 32, yeah?
We'll go ahead and put 32 there. Remember, this is our estimate, it's our guess, so it's okay if it's wrong. We're just thinking about it and doing our best with what we have. So those are our estimates for inches and centimeters of our head. Let's move on to the body.
Okay, now we're on the body. So we want to see how far or how wide our body is, how long it's going to be on our robot. Okay, so Mr. Fleming, what do you think this is in inches?
Let's see. If I'm going inches this way, I remember my elbow to my wrist is about 1 foot. It's a little less than that, so I'm going to say about 10 inches is my estimate. I'm going to let you take the centimeters
10
again.
inches, okay, again, I know that it needs to be bigger than that, so I think I'm going to say probably about 27 centimeters or so.
Okay? We're doing our best to guess. Remember, we have more centimeters than inches every single time. You should never have a smaller number in the centimeters than in the inches, okay? Just keep that in mind. Next, we have our arms. Now, our arms might not even be the same length because we're using pencils. That's okay. We're just going to estimate with this arm right here. And I just want to remind you guys, you can use anything to build your robot at home. If you want to cut out pieces of paper and do that, you can. We found random pieces of recycling and stuff we had lying around the classroom. So whatever you want, you can use to make your robot. So looking at this pencil here, I see it's decently shorter than a foot. I could use my finger and measure in inches. Remember, I'm not measuring, I'm just guessing. So I'm going to say this is probably about 7 inches.
7 inches? So again, my turn with centimeters. Now, if you notice, 14 and 32, the inches was smaller, so then that number needed to be smaller. So again, it's 7 inches. So I know it needs to be smaller than 27 probably. So I'm thinking maybe 20 centimeters.
All right, let's move on to our legs.
Now we're on our legs. So we have these things, okay? It's just rolled up paper. That's all, friends, okay? So gonna let Mr. Fleming decide what it is in inches.
Looks like it's pretty close. I'm just gonna go ahead and say 13 inches. Okay? I'm not trying to measure it, but when I'm thinking about things I know that's about 12 inches, it's a little bigger than that. So we're gonna go with 13.
Okay, so it looks like it's close to the head, so I know that my centimeters, I should probably estimate that number fairly close. So I'm gonna go ahead and just say 30. Okay? Alright, and we're down to our last object. We're down to the foot. Okay? Remember, we do have 2 of them, but we just only have to measure 1, okay?
Alright, so way smaller than a foot. I'm going to say 2 inches. This looks pretty small. I'm going to go with a 2-inch estimate.
And it's only 2 inches, so, you know, I'm just going to say 6. We'll see.
Alright, so we did our estimates. We gathered our pieces for our robot. On the next lesson you see tomorrow, we're going to actually show you how to measure and fill out the rest, and we'll show you the cool robot all put together. Okay, thanks guys. See you later.